When we first started CLG, like we would win versus everybody, and so it was super easy, and you just go in expecting it. But the odd one, he timed my buffs and my camps, and this was at the very beginning, and it was much more difficult to do. You know, it doesn't automatically do it for you. Yeah, and you have to go and get this information. And I was just took it so personally. I was like, and the whole team is coming in with you. You're taking my buffs. I just remember after that game. That was one of the few games where I actually talked a lot after the game. Because I was like, this is not happening again. Dude, we all will not stand for this. Like, GG, get your ass over here. And, what's the plan, Hotshot?
Step on the dick. We need to stretch. Moment of truth, playing it cool, wipe out the sweat. Get in the zone, king on the throne, I'm about to fix. Home I'm thrown and by their opponent, show me who next. Play in the field, look alive. Slide, die, line drive like Dion on prime time. I'm zeroed in while bun down when I settle in. I break ground, steal the base when you not around. Golden glove with a triple crown. I raise the ring cause I hold it down. I'm about to chase, money in case. Clean the base, pick up the pace.
I remember we were at, what studio? Universal. And we were sitting in the hotel and we had never seen or met Kobe before, and he just walked in and he was like this tall dude, and he was like really handsome, and we're like, what's going on?
Everyone just paused for like 5 seconds, which feels like forever, and we just looked so shocked, and I was like, hi.
Were you not tall?
You guys
back
are
then?
like the same height.
How young were you?
Well, I mean, I was about the same height, but I was sitting on the ground, so. But the rest of the team is like.
Isn't everyone tall if you're sitting on the ground?
Yeah.
What was the team like? What was the initial CLG team you guys were on?
Me, HotshotGG, Chowster, Elements.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, you remember.
So how did you two meet online then?
In solo queue.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Just
That's how
because,
everyone met each other, right?
yeah, because you keep getting in the same games with the same people.
Start shit talking the same person over and over.
Yeah. I should talk to you the least. You're my best friend.
My favorite thing playing with Hotshot is that he would always try and come up with some weird stuff for us to do and sell it as like this really big brain thing. So I've got a couple examples. You're ready to go. My favorites were abusing old Gangplank, raise morale, shooting your own minions.
Yeah.
That one won us a bunch until everybody was like, oh, we could just pick Gangplank and do it too.
Can you explain how it worked? Why it worked?
Well, old Gangplank in the kit, your raise morale, he doesn't even have a raise morale anymore, but he had this ability, you would shoot off a minion, and it would give an attack speed and move speed bonus to you and people around you, some area. But we didn't care about anything except that you got to shoot your own minions. And so Hotshot was always into manipulating minion waves.
Oh, it's like
and so
denying.
It was the way, exactly. It was the only way to deny. And for a lot of us, we were still fresh off of Dota. And so we're like, oh my God, there's a champion where you can actually deny minions with. And so he utilized that really effectively for a while.
That's the first champion I played because of that.
Because of
Because
that,
he could deny creeps. Because I come from Dota.
So cheesy.
The favorite thing we did is we had this document called like s2secrets.gg.
Yes.
And in that document actually had the future of League of Legends literally like play out. We were just like not good enough to execute it at the time, but there was things like proxying the wave. There was a point where like the jungler and the AD carry and the support like would go in between the waves and start proxying. I think we wanted to like use that in the like season 1 World Finals.
Didn't you guys do something like that in season 2 with like? I remember you guys doing something with Mundo. It was like really weird like that.
Yeah.
I think you did try a proxy, didn't you?
I think that was the first time we did it successfully or something. We actually tried to do that in season 1 Finals and we screwed it up. We got caught level 1 and like it completely blew up, and we were like, dang, we're just not going to try any more crazy strategies. But we did like some quad TP play that actually won us a game, or like 5 TPs at Worlds. But yeah, there were like some crazy strategies that were like truly out of the box.
Or we prepared only for blue side.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. I was like a big Warcraft 3 player, and I was like totally about strategy more than like mechanical play. Like Doublelift saw the game, I think, on a very micro perspective, but I was like very macro.
It's funny that you call him like he like plays the game at a very microscopic level, because I don't have any experience with him on a competitive team. I did like a Twitch Rivals or something recently with him or something like that. But I remember this one scrim that I had to sub in for them, and he had me play TF, and every time my ultimate was up, he would tell me to ulti at him, and every single time I did it, I would die. And just in my head, like I was still new at the game or whatever, like at that time, and like I just thought this guy was the dumbest AD carry I've ever played with in my life. And then he flamed me after and kicked me off the team for the rest of the scrims because I played poorly on TF. And just in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I just remember never wanting to play with him on a team. I don't know how he is nowadays, of course, but like I have a very bad experience playing TF on his team.
Well, we had that money match we played recently.
Yeah, which is, I don't think he knows how to play support, if I'm going to be honest. But
it is interesting, though, how like players who come from different backgrounds have a different focus on other things. And part of what makes League such a like interesting game is like there's so much depth. Because I know Doublelift comes from like a fighting game background.
Yeah, he played fighting games. Him and Chelsea would play it all day.
Yeah, and so when you're playing fighting games, it's about those like micro interactions, like spacing, that sort of thing. Yeah. And then if you come from like an RTS background, I mean, I guess RTS is some micro, but it's a lot more strategy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, I'll never flame his mechanics. I've always thought he was, like, one of the better AD carries, like, that I ever played with mechanics. But I've never... Everything else, nah, I'll pass. I'll pass on that.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, like, even when reviewing VODs and stuff, different people would focus on different things. It's like, oh, here we should have went as a team and done this thing. And then they're, like, both just equally valid. It's like, well, you need to focus on, like, this micro instance where you could have flashed this. And you need to like learn to like look for these sort of things. But we were like, everybody on the team had like one track of like how they were thinking, and they never converged, which was like the difficult part of like, when it worked really well, but when it didn't work, it was like.
So you mentioned WCG, I assume being like your personal maybe best moment. Yeah.
That one was so special. And again, it being at the beginning and it being your first, and us all still being so young, especially because at the time, this is just the game you're playing for fun. There was zero money in it. We literally, in the tournaments that we're winning online, these New Egg tournaments, they'll send you like
Go for law.
Maybe a processor if you're super lucky, but more often than not, I'm getting a laptop cooler or some random thing as our prize. And for us to win that WCG, like we got to hold a gigantic, check, and we got to stand up there. They gave us medals, and I just remember so clearly still the after party because we won, and we went through this like whirlwind of. Yeah, there's media, there's lights and cameras and stuff, and then they take you up in this elevator to a rooftop bar party, and it felt like we were ascending Mount Olympus because everyone was coming up to us so excited. And Mark and Brandon are two of them because this is so early in Riot Games, they're so invested. This is a really big event for them, and they're just coming up to us like, want to shake your hand, want to talk to you. Oh, this was crazy about this part of the game, and it was one of the first times where it felt like there's a lot of glitz around it and celebration. And I had never had people talk so emphatically and so excited to me about video games.
That's awesome.
I just felt like there was a lot of love and energy that you just like felt. And I never felt that. I had a decent amount of it at MSG 2015 when we won, but nothing like that. I felt like I was a little kid, and I was like having my dream come true. That's like exactly how it felt like. That will be my favorite moment for probably the rest of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
What was the first competitive game you played?
I don't know, probably like Guild Wars or like RuneScape or some shit. Probably RuneScape.
Were you good at RuneScape?
I was like level 109, and I was,
Holy
damn!
Do you know what a party hat is?
You had a party hat?
I had two, the white and the blue.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, the white hat.
Damn.
The white hat was the most expensive one too.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
What kind of text did you do? Was it wavy or?
I don't know, dude.
What? How do you not remember what kind of text you used for your
My
spam?
bad, bro. I apologize for not remembering
Oh my
that.
God.
You'll have to forgive me on this one.
He was already moving on to the next game to conquer.
I was a raid leader in WoW pre-puberty. They
There
didn't
we
like
go.
it.
What role were you playing?
Main tank or top DPS, one or the other.
Or top DPS is the role. He doesn't play DPS. He plays top DPS, okay?
He caught me on his first time. He got a white party hat, and he's top DPS role.
White and blue, come on. You have to toss
Sorry, white and blue party hat.
I like the color.
When you first met Hai, what was your initial impression of him? He's not here to listen.
Yeah. Well,
I know the first game we had together.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
it was funny because I was playing against him in this online tournament. It was like some MLG series. I was on Team Normal Stars. He was on C9. It's like the first time we played against any of the semi-pro or pro teams. And I was playing Rammus just for fun every game. And I was getting so pissed. I just kept ganking him mid, and he died at like every single gank. And then the third game, he started running cleanse mid, which was like unheard of at the time. It was like, I don't know what people were giving ran back then, Ignite or something, but yeah, I made you take cleanse. It was so funny.
I'm like inspired by your team because you guys are like so chill and you're like always like, it seems like you guys are having a great time, whereas like CLG's like,
He lived in the tilt.
It's like tense.
yeah, sounds tense.
Well, if you guys were
can I
winning
join
more,
your
it wouldn't
team?
be as tense, right? I'm sure like a lot of the drama or issues you had was because you guys lost and you want to figure out how to win. We can't really fight about how can we win more, right?
Okay,
So I'm not saying this to you guys. It's just that you lost more, so that's why you had to deal with it.
Yeah, it's just because you were bad is all.
Yeah.
It sort of seems like CLG didn't really have a clear leader.
Yeah,
Or like
no.
there were like several leaders at a time.
HotshotGG and Chowster all.
But
The worst leaders you could possibly have.
The thing is, the 3 leaders is not a 1 leader. You know, like
Exactly.
it might as well just be 5 individual people that are kind of like trying to form as a unit. I think that's why like when Hai came into the scene, like I was like really impressed, is because they like gelled and then they had like one clear vision on how to execute. Whereas
Reggie was like the leader of TSM too, though, no? Like,
even Reggie, yeah.
Just in a different
It was
way.
a lot easier. All of us would just always fight all the time, and it'd be like, no, we should do this and this and this. Like,
That was kind of the fun part of watching CLG, though.
yeah, I'm sure it was fun to watch. It wasn't fun to be in.
Kind of fun, honestly.
I wish we had synergy, but
Yeah.
I think when I joined C9, it wasn't like, Hai was this like dictator and we all just had to follow him. It was more like when I joined the team, one thing I really liked was just how like on the same page everyone was in fights. Like Hai would get really intense. He'd like yell targets out and stuff, and that's like I never had that on other teams, or like yelling like go go go, stuff like that. So I think it was kind of a combination of Hai's personality being like leadership type,
Just gotta be the loudest, you know? You have to listen to the call if I'm louder than everyone. I'm saying, this guy, you're quieter than me, I can't hear you. Everyone else can hear me. So,
I played flex queue with Hai, and it was shocking, actually. And this is even knowing, this is way after the fact, like knowing, oh, he likes to shot call and stuff. But he was like telling me stuff to do in the fight. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. He was like,
was there a point where you guys like went to the grocery store and Hai's like, okay, you get that, you get the bread, you get the lettuce.
Whole milk.
Or was he able to turn it off?
I don't know. My personal take is like I never felt like you micromanaged as much as like the narrative has people believe, because I like Hai didn't really tell me what to do most of the time in game. Like usually it was kind of like
Team time?
everyone would sort of do their own thing, but then like Hai would do kind of like the team fight calls, I guess, more than other stuff.
I have always liked how you guys embrace all the memes. And even how you guys were talking about high shot calling previously. I know specifically you and Sneaky were streaming, and you would always be like, shot call for everything. Really playing off of how much it was talked about in the community as far as people going way overboard with it.
Yeah, because, I mean, for me, it was always like, like, Hai definitely would, like, lead us in game, and we would all follow it, but it never felt like we would ever be sitting there just, like, waiting for a direction. It's just like, what jungle camp should I go to, Hai? Like, should I go here, Hai? It's just
Thank you, Hai.
that never happened.
it didn't matter what we said. It's just like, the narrative was like, no one on the team has heads, and he just only listened to me.
You know what it's from? It's from when they would do those little clips of listen-ins to team comms.
100%.
And the clips that they would use would be the ones where Hai is shouting really loud. And to your point of him like having very high volume and having the very clear voice cutting through in the late game team fight in the most impressive place is like, oh my gosh, that's so impactful. And that's the small snippet that people get of listening in. Yeah. It definitely did go overboard, but it was also because it's such a cool, and at that time, fairly unique thing of having such clear comms and such good direction that you guys had. It was also helped by the Zed at Worlds play, I feel like. And
the secret agent one?
Yeah, that added.
God, that was funny.
The legend of Hai and the giant brain of trying to Solid Snake sneak his way through the fog of war.
It was good times. Like, we had a lot of those.
Hey, we won more games than we didn't, so I'm sure we had something.
You guys were chilling.
You know what? At the beginning, I was like, I really want to change chairs. Mine's too far away, but I'm glad we have them right next to each other for this cathartic.
All part of the plan.
Pick up the pace. Two team ain't enough. Four top team is us. Man on first, on second, on third. I'ma have to clean it up.
Wasn't there a CLG with Reggie on it? Like before the first actual official lineup? He was part of the same.
Yeah, so he subbed for a bit, and then he didn't really like me, but he liked other people on the team, so like it was like tolerated, and then he just like really didn't like me, blew up, and it was like, I'm out of here.
Damn.
I think most of it actually just came from just like being naturally competitive with each other. Yeah, it started from like just, I think, us meeting and kind of like butting heads, and then we both made teams, and then we kept butting heads for infinity.
Yeah.
Are you still butting heads to this day?
Yeah, a decent amount. There's actually, we did 1v1s back in the day too, and there's actually a 1v1 clip of Reggie and me. He uploaded it to TSM. I don't know if it's still there, but it was a best 2 out of 3, and he only uploaded like 1 win, 1 loss, but he didn't like upload the whole series, and so I beat him in the best of 3.
Nice.
He just didn't upload the third game?
No, he didn't upload the third game.
That's funny.
Can't wait for the thrilling ending of this
We were
best of
so
3.
petty back then.
Who's the player you had the most beef with? Can you think of one?
The player I had the most beef with, maybe I would say Saint Vicious because he replaced me. But that wasn't me versus Saint. Like, I'm very good friends with Saint. It was mostly getting kicked off the team and, oh, this guy is the one that's replacing me. And I still remember the reason Chowster gave to me for kicking me out is we had this scrim where Alistar Jungle was crazy
It was
good.
insane.
Yeah.
Level 2 ganks.
Exactly.
Through the tower.
However, in this scrim, and this was at the time where I had just graduated, and so I started working. I was working a full-time job now, so I hadn't been scrimming much. And so, I mean, in hindsight, I probably would have kicked me as well because I didn't have as much time to play. But I hadn't played Alistar Jungle, and they were like, you gotta play Alistar Jungle. It's so good right now. I was like, okay. It's super easy. I've played Alistar before. And so we get into the game, and there's a level 1 fight, and they invaded us, and I'm chunked out to like 50% HP, and then everyone goes to their lanes, and I'm a level 1 Alistar at 50% HP, and then Josh is like, why aren't you here? Alistar's OP, level 2. I'm like, bro! and then I was just so, I just remember being so livid afterwards when they're like, you know what, main reason, can't play Alistar Jungle, we're bringing in Satan. Nunu's really good. And I was like, bro!
Wow.
What about you, Hai?
I guess probably Froggen, since we played against him so many times, and he had a very distinct playstyle, whereas I had a very different distinct playstyle too, and it's always just like, whose playstyle is better, you know? If I try to like 1v1 him in lane, it probably won't go out that well for me, but if I just leave lane, I know he's not following me, so I can just go kill his top laner or his bot laner, and then I'm chilling, you know?
Sure.
So it's just like, you can sit mid, take my wave, take the wave camps, whatever, and I'll just go elsewhere, and it's chill, you know?
Yeah. That's interesting that you didn't bring up Bjergsen at all.
I mean,
Yeah, he's all right. You know,
I don't feel like for when he first came, I was just kind of really whatever. Like I remember seeing like these montages and stuff like of him like killing me in solo queue. Well, I had just come back from Vietnam, like backpacking for 2.5 like weeks. I'm rusty as shit. He solo killed me a few times in a solo queue game. I just see it uploaded on Reddit. I'm just like, what is this shit, man? Like whatever. I felt like me and him always like were pretty competitive. Like there's always like times where like I did really well versus him, and then times where I did bad versus him. So like yeah, there's that competitiveness in there, but I never felt like playing against him was just like a 1v1 thing. I never felt like it's just him trying to beat me. It's just like him as his team trying to kill me. And like, you know, what can I do when Lust Boy ignites me level 1 and it stuns me at Annie, or like I get constantly ganked? I didn't feel as if like it was like that even of a lane. So I don't know.
I mean, playing against TSM's like mid lane against TSM. It's like you're not 1v1ing.
Okay.
You're 1v5.
It's not fun. Is the problem. They're called Team Solo Mid for a reason. Like they're very centric around that name for quite a long time.
It was weird. Me and Dyrus had like a love-hate relationship where like in person I loved like being with him, and we hung out, and like I even keep up with him every now and then. But when it came in game, I was like, I gotta beat Dyrus. Like he's my rival.
Why do you think? Where did that rivalry come from? It was like solo queue, or like you just considered him one of the best and you had to beat him?
Well, they played the same role, right?
Yeah, we just played the same role.
Did you fight Dyrus more or the Rain Man more? Who'd you play versus more?
Dyrus, 100%. Rain Man was, I don't know.
Little Teemo picker.
The team. Honestly, the Teemo is like the worst champion to play against. Like not even in like back then, he was actually good in pro play. So like now he's just a meme in pro play.
I'm so glad he's not in pro play. Like,
yeah, he'd be the worst.
I don't think anybody wants to play a game where Teemo's good. Like, this champion's just too annoying.
I like Teemo.
Literally.
You like playing against Teemo?
I like playing Teemo. I didn't say I like playing against Teemo.
This what the ring like. If you missed out, better press rewind. I'm just a highlight reel. To do what I do takes skill.
Do you guys feel like there's a matchup right now in the LCS that you look forward to because of the story behind it, as opposed to just like it's the two best teams?
I would say the most we get for rivalries is just like players playing against their former teams. Like that's it. Like if someone gets kicked off their former team, it's like the first time they match up, they might be like, oh, I really need to beat them to prove a point. But then after that, it's just like, who cares?
Yeah.
The only real, like the most personal moves now that happen in League feel like roster moves. And so if there's drama behind one of the moves especially, then you really are kind of waiting to be able to tweet out some memes or something, like Dark Meteos coming back on Phoenix 1. Those types of things have a bit of a spark.
So as someone who's been around like since the beginning, what do you consider the best rivalry in the history of the LCS?
It's really hard not to say CLG TSM because it was just literally the beginning of North American League of Legends. And it was so natural how this rivalry was created, with there being real beef behind the owners and the creators of the team.
Did you feel a strong rivalry with TSM?
Well, we talked about this recently on Next Level, or
Replay
Files. And I mean, there wasn't a rivalry in the beginning if everyone just lost, right? That's why I like the CLG TSM rivalry too, because they're actually competitive with each other. When we first started playing, we just shit on them. So there's no rivalry there, right? Being a biased character, seeing CLG and TSM back in the day, like, they were the people that beat the people that beat. Like, these are the top teams, and like, I always thought it was cool to see them play each other. There's like this MLG game where Nian Tonso was playing Elise or something like that. And the crowd was just going insane in this game because there's like a base race going on. Dyrus is playing Ken, and he's like trying to ulti the 70 billion super creeps. Nian Tonso 1v3s the team, and I'm just like, holy shit, that was hype, So.
Yeah. I was actually a caster at that one. I had already transitioned over to being a caster, and that event, because it was also indoors, it felt like you were at a music festival because you could feel the chants, the beats of everyone going, and it was this TSM, CLG, and they were actually like we had a meter going through, and it was close to your point about how much, passion was in this rivalry because it was so close. That was the cool thing, is that it was going back and forth, and you can hear the chants molding into each other. And the fact that it was a crazy base race with all these supers and stuff was just peak.
Yeah.
There's just so many incredibly emotional, historic moments between CLG and TSM. Yes, the origin stories are amazing. The Hotshot Reginald, to me, one of the greatest in all of esports stories is Doublelift, and he lived the core of this rivalry, starting with CLG and the Doublelift trophy case, and CLG not getting championship for so long versus TSM, and then finally getting it. Or that Madison Square Garden was insane. And
Rick Fox was there too, and Afro. It felt like the squad was coming together that wasn't even a part of the League of Legends. There was a lot of love there.
Yeah.
I can't pinpoint the exact moment when it started to dissolve, because CLG TSM is not what it was.
Yeah, we started losing, bro. Too much. We lost.
No, it wasn't when we started losing. It was when you kept losing year upon year upon year. One of these times, you left for Korea or something. But when I was on the team, we always won. So I don't know what happened there.
We have C9 versus TSM. Who do you think is going to win this weekend? Is there still a part of you that wants to see TSM lose?
So I haven't been really following the meta, and I'm not in it as much as you guys anymore. But yeah, fuck TSM. I want C9 to win, and if they win, I'll buy them dinner.
I'm about to chase money in case, clean up base, pick up the pace. I'm about to chase money in case, clean up base. Got a call for it if you got it. Ain't no stopping on the go. Got a call for it if you got it. Going live, good at the show. Got a call for it if you got it. Ain't no stopping on the go. Got a call for it if you got it. Going live, good at the show. Pick up the pace.
Free TSM wants to backdoor this entire base with Nien up, but the minions would end the game on TSM's face.
And here we go, Nien. Can you be a hero? The Nexus will die so fast. The last
TSM Nexus is naked.
It's taking so much damage. Can Wild Turtle out damage a bunch of minion waves? Nien goes in. He finds Wild Turtle. Wild Turtle goes down. Double kill. Triple kill for Nien. And the minions will try to end the game. Cyrus, can you do it? More damage.
There are so many minions right now.
The minion waves respawn
Kill
and
them
buy
faster, Darius.
a little bit of time.
over.
But it's not enough. Counter Logic Gaming in 60 minutes. The minions backdoor the base.